So anyway, I've been reviewing some of that footage you guys shot up on the Sea-Tuck while me and Jen and Christine were over there doing the Kauai show. Looks like a beautiful area, a nice place. How was that trip up there?
You know, the Sea-Tuck was a ton of fun. It's a beautiful place. We did it, we rented a drift boat from Glacier Bear Lodge, which I highly recommend doing if you have some good drift boat experience. The river's 13.5 miles long. There's one put in, one takeout, and it is kind of technical. While we were there, the river was extremely low. It was right around 100 cubic feet per second. And as you can kind of see right here, there's a lot of down trees. There's a lot of tight area to operate the boat. And so you definitely got to be on your A game as far as rowing a drift boat goes. I highly recommend maybe spending one day hiking the river, figuring it out, you know, getting some ideas. You can hike from where you put in and then hop in your car and run down and hike where you put out before you get on the drift boat. This part right here, if you look how close this section is, this is a lot of the river is this way, a lot of the lower rivers that way. All the drift boats are beat up. It's a lot of fun though, but yeah, I highly recommend doing it. And you know, after a day or two on the water, you're gonna want to go back every year and do it. I know I'm going.
Yeah, it looked pretty. I noticed them boats were pretty beat up.
The boats are
technical water.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The boats are beat up, and one of the cool things about the area is we're fishing it when the water was really low. And so you'll see where they've cut some of the trees down, but you can see even when the river's up high that there's trees that are cut down. So at all different water levels, there's trees that are cut, and so I have a feeling that high water or low water, it's a technical area, but it's some amazing steelhead fishing. Why don't you guys stay tuned? We've got a lot of fish coming on all different techniques.
You know, another thing I'd like to point out, Randy suggested hike it and scout it out. One of the tools that comes in real handy for me, even on your smartphone or even on your computer at home, is Google Earth. Go to Google Earth, zoom in on the river. You can scout down, you can change angles, and you can get a real good idea what to expect on a river.
Yeah,
it's a really good tool.
That is a great tool. In fact, we did that before we got there. Now, the two guys that I went with, Dan and Andy, they've been there before. They really knew the area, but they had never fished it when it was this low. So even they were surprised with the type of technicality that we had to deal with. But there's a lot of self-guided steelhead fishing going on this river. It's pretty exciting. We caught a lot of fish. I had never been there before and did most of the rowing and most of the camera work, and I still probably hooked 20 steelhead over 25 and 30 inches. It was awesome. We did get some in that 35 to 36 inch class, and world-class steelhead fishing. Check out Glacier Bear Lodge and come right back, and we'll have some great Sea-Tuck footage.
Right on. Be back in a minute with some more Lunker Junkies.
Hey guys, Randy Wells here, Lunker Junkies TV. Just landed in Anchorage, getting ready to hop a puddle plane down to Yakutat. Gonna be fishing for some steelhead. I've got good reports of a lot of fresh fish moving in. Some great trophy class steelhead, that 35 to 40 inch class. That's what it's all about right now. We're gonna be pulling some plugs, casting some bobbers and jigs. Gonna be drifting some pink worms. Gonna try it all. We know it's gonna be great. Stay tuned to Lunker Junkies TV. We're gonna show you how to Yakutat.
Oh, there he is.
Get him! Oh!
Lunker Junkies is brought to you by Bi-Mart, your one stop for the best deals around on top quality gear. Pro-Cure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. If you want your rod bent, you gotta apply the scent. Shasta Tackle, inventor of the sling blade, luring you to the best of fishing. Reel Tech, don't throw those broken reels aside, send them to the Reel Tech. And Brad's Killer Fishing Gear, so enticing, fish cannot resist them.
Hey, with the winter months upon us, don't forget to swing into your local Bi-Mart and get ready for your season. Take a look at the great deals they have on rain gear, hip waders, chest waders, jackets, socks, boots, all that stuff you need to stay a little warmer and drier out there in the cold and wet winter season. Also take a look at the new Cascade Outdoors stuff. Sleeping bags, tents, chairs, tables, canopies for your campsite. All built a little more heavy duty for the rugged Northwest, and all at a great low price you've come to expect from Bi-Mart. Also take a look at the great selection of fishing gear. Getting ready for your winter steelhead season, salmon season, trout up in the high Cascades. Bi-Mart's got the best selection around, best prices in town. Every Lunker Junkie's adventure starts at Bi-Mart.
Hey guys, welcome back. Lunker Junkies TV, Randy Wells here up on the Sea-Tuck. My good friend Andy Dahlman is hooked into the first fish of the trip. We did a 3-day trip. There's a ton of fish. We caught this fish side drifting a bobber and a pink worm. The water is real low and clear, and we were spotting fish in little pockets, and so we had to pull over and fish a bunch of fish that way, fish pocket water. So let's watch Andy land this fish. We'll see you right back.
Darn it. Hold out. I'm gonna drop it in. Okay?
So it's always good to keep the fish in the water so that they can breathe. I was dead drifting a nice purple bead here. Beautiful fish. Give him a drink. Make sure the line is clear. One more time. And she's ready to go.
You know where I went for it too. I tucked it in.
I am using a clear float because this water is so clear here. I can actually see him playing with the worm. There's one right there. So we're on the Sea-Tuck, as you guys know, and we just passed through a bunch of dead water, saw a big school of dollies. I grabbed my float and a pink worm, first cast. And these are absolutely beautiful fish. And again, you want to get your hands wet, make sure you're not wiping the scales off on them. And this is a sea run type of trout. You can see right there, he just absolutely hammered that pink worm and jig. Really nice fish. This is about the average size of the dollies here. They do get a little bit bigger in the fall from what I've heard, but they're still a lot of fun. We'll pass some time through some dead water, thump a few dollies before you get back into the steelhead action. So although we came up here to catch a bunch of steelhead, which we've been doing, you can't tell me that hooking a bunch of sea-run dollies isn't a whole lot of fun as well. All right, so I'm going to try that again. I just got a little jig head here with the BNR Holy Worm. Missed that one. You can see them rolling all over in here.
Fishing a glow bug on the sea tuck. Some fish. Got one to take. Look at that, the hook popped out of his mouth.
Nope.
Still up on the sea tuck with Randy and his buddies up there. I noticed you did a lot of nymphing and beads. You did some plugging. Which one did you know, what worked out and why?
Yeah, you know, there was a ton of, we went through the bobber and pink worm, the bobber and jig, the plug, the fly rod bead action. The fly rod bead action was hands down probably the most successful, but to be honest with you, Andy and Andy Dahlman and Dan Coleman, they are pretty epic with a fly rod, and that was their go-to technique. I had to twist their arm a little bit to get them to pull some plugs, but once they did, they really liked that steelhead pound, you know, that steelhead bite, and then I couldn't get them to put the plug rod down. Unfortunately, the river was low, and so there's just a few places where we could pull plugs, but if you're gonna go to the Sea Tuck, I highly recommend taking a full plug box. On the Sea Tuck River, your plugs have to be single hook, and they don't have to be barbless, but since the majority of them are catch and release, I highly recommend making them barbless. I had 3 main plugs that caught a lot of fish for me. The Yakima Fat Fish, what I call the Blue Pirate. This was a pretty phenomenal plug. The Brad's Copper plug, we caught a bunch on this plug. You'll actually got some good footage with this one. And then, hands down, you guys know one of my favorite plugs is that Maglet, where there's a 3.5 to the 5.0. This plug got beat up on the Sea Tuck, and I knew that it was going to catch fish because it's caught a ton for me down here in Southern Oregon. This was an awesome plug, and you know, this is one of my #1 go-to plugs. This is a Brad's plug, and the name escapes me right now, but it's black with the metal flake on it, the red butt, clear bill. I've caught a ton of fish on this plug down here in Southern Oregon and on clear water days, and it just hands down railed the majority of the fish on the Sea Tuck. So Yakima and Brad's, you know, they pulled through for me. Definitely put those in your arsenal.
You know, plugging's one of my favorite things to do. I love the plug takedown, especially if you got people in front of the boat that haven't fished a lot. Plugging's the way to go. And I love plugging. If I'm out in my drift boat by myself, plugging's a good method because you can fish with the boat. You know, you can have your plug rod sticking out. But I've always said, you know, sometimes it's Brad's, sometimes it's the Brad's. The Wee Wiggler is my favorite size in Brad's. Sometimes that's the ticket. Sometimes it's the K9X. You want to have both. You want to have a good supply of both. But those are the 2 hottest brands of plugs, and pretty much the only thing we run is Brad's and Yakima. And sometimes both of them will hit them.
And you know, as a steelhead guide in Southern Oregon, a lot of the rivers have gone to side drifting only rivers, and sometimes even I get hollered at, hey, you're not supposed to be pulling plugs at a side drifting river. To those of you watching the show, I'm just going to apologize now because you're going to see me out there pulling plugs. I pull a lot of plugs. I like doing it. I try not to go against the grain. But any steelhead fisherman that doesn't have plugs in your arsenal, you're missing fish.
Yeah.
If you see a ton of boats come through, and we saw that on the Sea-Tuck. We'd see them out there flipping beads. Everybody's flipping beads, pounding a hole. I'd tell my buddy, hey, let's pull over here for a second. Like, oh no, it's been fished. It hasn't been fished with a plug.
Yeah.
And, you know, these fish aren't hitting to feed, they're hitting out of aggression, and especially if the water's already been pounded, already been flogged by a bunch of side drifters.
Yeah.
They're gonna hit this, it's gonna sit in their face, it's gonna rattle, it's gonna make it happen. Hey guys, there's some great plug footage coming up. Be right back with more Lunker Junkies TV.
Stay tuned.
Pro-Cure Bait Scents, the #1 choice of any serious angler for bait scents and cures. Made with 100% natural ingredients and the only scent with a full money-back guarantee. Whether you are fishing inland or offshore, Pro-Cure products give you a huge advantage on a wide variety of species. Make sure you have Pro-Cure in your box and watch your catch rate action explode. Don't throw aside those nice reels when they start having problems. Instead, send them to the Reel Tech. John Strank of the Reel Tech is a highly skilled and knowledgeable reel technician. He will go through your reels, replace worn out parts, and get them up and running like new, as well as perform much needed maintenance on all of your fishing reels. Just box them up, ship them to the Reel Tech, and he will complete all work requested and ship them back to you in a timely fashion. Give John a call at 541-324-0346. Shasta Tackle. Unlike the old salmon attractors and baits that spin in a rhythm, the Shasta Tackle sling blades and wiggle hoochie's erratic behavior trigger salmon to crash on it out of instinct. And for you trout and kokanee anglers, check out the full line of Shasta Tackle lake trolling gear. Tackle used to catch a world record kokanee over 9 pounds.
Dang, you're tagged out.
Make sure you have the Shasta Tackle advantage in your arsenal the next time you hit the water. Hypnotic Customs Design and Graphics, located in Medford, Oregon. Custom auto highlights, custom vehicle wraps, boat wraps and logo design, business signs and lettering for your trucks and equipment, shirts and jersey design and printing, plus a whole lot more. Give Jason or Kim Beer a call for all your design and graphics needs at 541-690-1026.
Due to these low water conditions, we're having to do a lot of getting out and wading. There's a few spots where we've been able to pull some plugs, but for the most part we've had to drift with the fly rods, drift some beads and some glow bugs. Proving very effective in these low water conditions.
Go in there and go ahead and grab them in the soft water.
So I've been getting my fly fishing lesson 101 from my good buddy here, Andy Dahlman and Dan. And this is my first really nice rainbow in Alaska on my fly rod. Big beautiful fish. Oop,
There he goes.
full of energy. So we've been working this, I've been practicing pretty hard with this bead for the last 2 days, 3 days. I've been casting at this same fish for about 10 minutes. I watched him come out from underneath a tree and try to smack the bead once, and I pulled it right out from under him. Kept on him, kept on him. My buddies let me work this one fish. Oddly enough, you know, you'd think you'd spook them and that, you know, you'd drift by him once and that'd be it, but that's not the case.
Don't grab that high, you'll break that one.
These are such powerful hot fish. Yeah! My instructors are taking care of me, guys.
1.5 inches.
31.5 inches. This is the first SeaTech steelhead that I've landed. I've lost some others on bobbers and jigs and bobbers and worms. So the first one I land, big butte doe on the fly. And I wanted the rosy cheeks, and that's what I got. So we've been able to pull some plugs in a little pocket spot. We saw Andy Dahlman hook a few minutes ago on the bobber and jig, and we decided to have some lunch. There's a bunch of fish caked up in here. We fished it and fished it hard, beads, jigs, yarn balls. After Andy got a couple, we couldn't get them to bite anymore. We put a Brad's plug on and sent it down there. It wasn't even 5 minutes when the steelhead destroyed it. And you can see that chrome flash, big, happy, bright, big steelhead. Look at that thing.
Yeah, come all the way around the bottom.
And this is hands down the brightest steelhead we've got here in 4 days, brother. Yeah, got him on the Brad's plug.
That was all you, buddy.
Good job.
Yours.
Brad's plug right there. Great job. Chrome bright fish. Definitely the brightest fish that we've got. We're going to get her back in the river and try that again. The best part about plugging a river or plugging a hole, once the fish are spooked, they will definitely continue to hit plugs because they hit out of anger.
Beauty.
Beauty. Pulling some plugs in the last little bit of water we can find. Last little bit of plug water. This one hit the Brad's, black with speckles and the red butt. This is a very, very fresh fish. Booyah!
Booyah, baby!
Chrome, baby, chrome!
Oh, yeah. 33.
33. Chrome bright, Brad's plug.
You got your shits on you? Fishing floats, low and clear, sunny day. They hole up in the trees in the midday. So just try to find a shady spot and drift a float through there. And with a pink worm, it seems to be the killer. This is the second one I hooked in this hole. First one I hooked on a Garcia glow bug, which is pretty typical as well for this river.
Real beauty.
Grab that.
There we go. Make it happen.
There you go.
That fish had a lot of energy. That wasn't the best release we've done, but he was ready, huh?
Yeah, that boy was ready to go. That was fun.
It's turning out to be one of those epic SeaTech trips. Day before yesterday, we ran the entire river scouting it, and now we know where they are, and we are definitely putting the wood to them. And there is another SeaTech steely for Mr. Dahlman. Go.
You're up to your job.
Yep. You know, I can't say enough about Glacier Bear Lodge and the accommodations. After fishing hard on that river, and like I said, that river's over 13 miles long, you are tired. So definitely check out Glacier Bear Lodge. They've got some great accommodations. It's a really cool spot there in Yakutat. Had a lot of fun, good food, good music, good clean rooms. It's the way to go, man. It's the way to go. Spend a day with one of their guides and then rent a drift boat from them. Spend a couple more days out there. It's definitely a minimum 3-day experience. So when I go back this year, 2015, you better believe I'm gonna be there for a week. Stay tuned.
Lunker Junkies is brought to you by Bi-Mart, your one stop for the best deals around on top quality gear. Pro-Cure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. If you want your rod bent, you gotta apply the scent. Shasta Tackle, inventor of the sling blade, luring you to the best of fishing. Reel Tech, don't throw those broken reels aside, send them to the Reel Tech. And Brad's Killer Fishing Gear, so enticing, fish cannot resist them. Hey, with the winter months upon us, don't forget to swing into your local Bi-Mart and get ready for your season. Take a look at the great deals they have on rain gear, hip waders, chest waders, jackets, socks, boots, all that stuff you need to stay a little warmer and drier out there in the cold and wet winter season. Also take a look at the new Cascade Outdoors stuff. Sleeping bags, tents, chairs, tables, canopies for your campsite. All built a little more heavy duty for the rugged Northwest and all at a great low price you've come to expect from Bi-Mart. Also take a look at the great selection of fishing gear. You're getting ready for your winter steelhead season, salmon season, trout up in the high Cascades. Bi-Mart's got the best selection around, best prices in town. Every Lunker Junkie's adventure starts at Bi-Mart. Pro-Cure Bait Sense, the #1 choice of any serious angler for bait scents and cures. Made with 100% natural ingredients and the only scent with a full money-back guarantee. Whether you are fishing inland or offshore, Pro-Cure products give you a huge advantage on a wide variety of species. Make sure you have Pro-Cure in your box and watch your catch rate action explode. Shasta Tackle. Unlike the old salmon attractors and baits that spin in a rhythm, the Shasta Tackle sling blades and wiggle hoochie's erratic behavior trigger salmon to crash on it out of instinct. And for you trout and kokanee anglers, check out the full line of Shasta Tackle lake trolling gear. Tackle used to catch a world record kokanee over 9 pounds.
Dang, you're tagged out.
Make sure you have the Shasta Tackle advantage in your arsenal the next time you hit the water.
Born to be fishermen. We were born to be fishermen. So come along with me on Lunker Junkies. On Lunker Junkies. We're Lunker Junkies.